I'd like to open the July 17th Energy and Sustainability Committee meeting. Call to order. First order of business. Welcome everybody, by the way. First order of business is to approve the minutes from June 11th. I believe quite extensive. The last page is the sign-off sheet. So I'll make a motion that I'm going to assume that everybody's read the minutes, had a chance to read the minutes. Mm-hmm. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as they are submitted, and I'm looking for a second on that.
Second.
And there's a motion and a second to approve the June 11th meeting minutes as submitted. Any other discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Good. Do that. Let's get some signatures on here, and I will turn those in. So we'll go through the normal agenda. We'll go over the committee, the three subcommittees, and then we'll talk about new membership submissions, potential projects, and if Chris comes, we'll talk about the trash gala. He attended, so we'll go from there. Is there any other additions to the agenda?
No, I don't have any.
Good. All right. No appointments. So let's take it from the top. We'll take reports from the subcommittees. We'll start off with Transportation. Patricia Krebs can't make it, but Mike Petishnak is here to review the latest updates and just to bring everybody up to speed. Patricia and Michael have been working to get EV charging station put in here in this area. And Mike, why don't you update us on the latest?
Okay, I got a long update.
Okay.
Who's taking the minutes?
That's a good. Who would like to take minutes?
I'll volunteer.
I'll help you out with this one thing because it's
Yeah, and I'll go back and watch the
okay. So
video. I
had a list of 10 items to discuss, but I realized that I forgot one of them. So my item 0 actually.
Okay.
We talked about having 6 months after the paperwork was signed in January that the project had to be done, or you had to ask for an extension. So as it looked like we might not make it, I started asking about the details about extension. The person was the contact said, well, we just decided to give everybody from 6 months to 18 months apparently because they're tired of dealing with extension. So we have
6 months is kind of short, to pull all that together, but yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we got till July 27, 2026 to get it right before we sit down for money. So that's a fairly easy one and a happy thing for us too. So there's a lot of things that have been done. Well, what I'm calling the homegrown support software is ready for prime time. It was basically written by me, and so. What it includes is, one thing is, it finds what I call the break-even energy price estimate. Right? So we want to not basically lose money when people charge, right? And so we have to figure out what is our true cost, right? So we know that we have to pay 9% for whatever money we collect for the software provider, and we know what the energy price is, although it does change. The price for the energy is like 10.75 cents per kilowatt hour. But what's tricky is you don't know what the price for the grid services are going to be, right?
For what?
The grid services. When you look at your energy bill,
yeah.
Right now, I looked at mine the other day, and it was like, if I look at basically for the Fenerty house, the last month I have data on, it was like 60% of the bill was related to these grid services. Only 40% was related to the energy. And
You're talking delivery charges. basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right, the National Grid charges. And you don't know what they are ahead of time, and they are somewhat significant. So you have to figure out a way to guess what they are, right? Which is why I use the term break-even energy cost estimate. Right? So, I'll get back to that in a little bit. So, well, we have software ready to do that, right? We have software to make the best guess for it. Turns out that if you look at the 17 months of data that we have, the best guess is using the previous month's number. Now, but it started out in January 2024 as being 13.4 cents per kilowatt hour, but at the end of May it was 15.8. So that's 2.4 cents per kilowatt, which doesn't sound like much, except that what we're doing is we have a break-even cost. I'm going to charge something above that amount of money. So we're looking at basically making a nickel per kilowatt hour profit to pay back for the software or whatever. But if you get that number wrong, being wrong by 20 cents, it's 20%.
It eats it up.
Right. So this is working off the difference in numbers. Let's see where we got it. So we have that. And actually, the best data fit is to assume the last month's actual grid service cost in cents per kilowatt and add 0.15 to it. And you get the statistically the best number based on the 7. But basically, if you use the last month's, it's a reasonable guess. So
Can what we charge, what's being charged, can that float based on?
we can charge what we want. We have to put it in the input. So, right. And so, since you're there, the number is like 29.19 is the latest break-even cost. We're going to go with charging 34 cents per kilowatt hour. 34 cents per kilowatt hour. I get confused in dollars with megawatt hours or something, but so we're basically going to run 1 cent cheaper than the Stadler has a 35 cent, Gilbertville has a 35 cent, and Lupus has a 40 cent, right? And so we're going to go with 34, so we look reasonable and even a little bit attractive. So that's coming at a starting date. We reached agreement on doing that. And we talked about supporting alternatives. I've added a couple of things since we talked about it. One is I'm going to call it gross profit estimates. At the end of each month, as we go forward, right, people are charged that there's a certain pot of money that we got, and then we can take out what we had to pay amp up and to cover the energy and the grid services. There's an amount of money left, so we have an ability to say, all right, spent $1,000 on software and maybe $20 on that. Just sitting there doing nothing when it's charged over the course of the year, right? This month, our best estimate is to recoup $9.68 or whatever it is. So what we'll do is we'll come back to you and say, here's how much we've made above trying to pay back to get to that revenue neutral goal. So we have that in place. And there's also putting in like a notepad or this, we have one place in this whole Excel spreadsheet to document. We put this number in there up to 34. Here's what the break-even cost. Everything that we do about figuring out the stuff gets logged right in this one notepad, right? And we have it set up for about 10 years worth of stuff, right? 10 years of pricing and all this stuff. So by having this version, let's say a year from now, I die. A year from now, I don't know, whatever. Linda LeDuc's going to lead up and gives it to somebody else. You have this historical record in case anybody wants to want to teach people. So it's a one-stop shop where everything's all there, including this README piece that documents all the calculations and everything that's there. So
We bring up a good point. So who is managing that? Is that the DPW?
So, Linda LeDuc is going to be initially responsible. She's the decider and I'm the suggester. But in the getting going, she's got a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
I've gone through this and she agrees that she has a pretty good handle on it, but the first, I'll use several months her and I will be working through that. So that's what we have in the homegrown piece. I talked about choosing the sites and that, so we're ready to go on the pricing aspect. The amp up software that's provided for $1,000 a year, we've reviewed, we took another dog and pony show on the latest version, and it was very good. And the documentation, that there's this, it's TTPS, blah, 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 amp up something or other. They actually, believe it or not, have really good documentation on what they have. Usually, anything I've looked for documentation in recent years is crap. But it was really, so the product seems really well done. There'll be a learning curve for us, and they will be doing a initial setup with us, so I'm going to work very much in great detail. Patricia has a full-time job, and I'm a retired bum, so I can have the time to do this and have a sense of responsibility to do this at this point in time. I wouldn't call it fun anymore. But that software is quite good. We've developed a preliminary business process where whenever the new utility bill comes in for the preceding month, we put it in the spreadsheet so we can know what the next best estimate to use when we're figuring out the break-even cost, right, and kilowatt hours. Right? And so that comes in kind of asynchronously. We may meet the meters on the 12th of the month, but we're going to do the reporting on a calendar month basis. So when, let's say we're up and running in October, at the end of October, we're going to have all the reports for October. When we come to our November, the third Thursday in November, we'll hear about October.
Right.
And so that information will flow to the select board and to the, people into whoever wants it. So what it comes down to is there's two main reports. One that's just a summary report for what happened for whatever period you specify, which gives you the total kilowatt hours, the total revenue, the number of people.
That'll be interesting, I can see.
All that higher carbon offsets, which apparently I think Patricia says somebody's interested in that. Right? And so it's a really good summary, and that would probably be the piece we give to you. The second report gives a detailed record of every single transaction. So if someone uses it, says, this is Mary Schwartz, and she used it on December 13th, she plugged in at 5:05, started charging at 5:07. She charged this number of kilowatt hours. She unplugged that, stopped charging at 7:15, and at 7:29 she unplugged her, pulled her car out. So every record will be there. There's
Extensive.
yes.
Mm.
So there's a status display where you can look at, and someone in her office can bring up this thing, it'll tell her no one's charging right now, or one or two people are charging right now, and there are alarms in case something is wrong, that someone tried to get in or whatever.
Do all charging stations document that level of detail with if they use their credit card, their
I
name?
don't know, but what the grant says is that you're supposed to have this information. Say it doesn't specify in detail what it is, but Amp Up seems to have everything I can think that you want. So it seems to be a pretty mature product. We hiccups along the way, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We've hit so many parlors and Murphy's Law already in this project, I'm sure there'll be a few more, right? But anyway, so the bottom line is that there's, like, what are the alarms? There's something where you have the list of users. I think there's something where users can make comments about how happy they were with whatever. So there'll be a folder at the end of the month. We'll run each of these and store them in folders and stuff. So we'll have a full historical record of what happened. For our own use, for auditing, and like, should Mass either say, all right, show me what you had. We gave you this money, so tell me what you're doing for the money you need. And we feel that's pretty good. Pretty big. Oh, the actual physical charging equipment is on site.
Oh, right.
So it's paid for already, which we're having some issues still though. The bottom line is we had a meeting on it was Monday, 11th.
Who's we?
Amp Up, the installer, Rich Chenever, the Patricia Steve Williams, right?
Okay.
And what we wanted, on that day, on the 11th, National Grid was coming to put in cable to upgrade the wiring from the pole to the house. They agreed to do it for free, which was a great deal. So they were all scheduled to come, and Chenever's there, and we're sitting there and we're waiting. And so we were talking about some of the detail, the ADA issues are still biting us, right? And yeah, that's sort of the bad news I'm going to bring up. Yeah,
That cable didn't blow up the elevator here, did it?
But so turns out they go, oh yeah, where the hell are we? We're waiting for you. Wow, we have 3 people ready to go, and we ain't here. Well, the person who did the scheduling was a rookie, and the person did not realize that before they can do this, they have to upgrade something else for a bunch of different, so 4 telephone poles down. They're upgrading that for a variety of reasons, and that has to be done before this gets done. So that was supposed to be done on the 22nd. So somewhere probably in late July, a lot of expletives here, we heard this, right? Somewhere probably in late July, that will actually be done. So it's just like, all right, let's get going next.
And that was National Grid. That was their.
Really National Grid.
Well, I mean,
so
same thing like when they invite the solar panels on your house, right? They have to come and they have to put a new meter in. There's a lot of times where they don't show up when they should. So that's
so routine stuff like that. We ever had more hair to lose on top of it. Let's see, what do we got here? So the other thing was we had all the equipment, right? And so Patricia and I have been very concerned about making sure we meet the ADA stuff. And so we had the installer there, we had the boxes, we brought out the things, and we put them where they were going to be, and we wanted to make sure that all this is going to go out. What happened was, there's a couple of issues, right? That the things that the actual physical charger that you plug in cannot be any higher than 48 inches for ADI compliance above the ground.
Yeah.
And the credit card reader, because you can pay by app, by scanning the URL code on your thing, or you can use the credit card reader, right? Needs to be 48 inches. Well, somehow when they gave us the stuff, somebody forgot to measure that. It was up on the curve and it was 7 inches. So basically, both of the, let's call them stanchions or goalposts, are 7 inches too high, so that the height would be 53 inches, and therefore so one solution is just to cut both of them. But you got to picture this physical layout.
I was going to ask if you took pictures.
Pictures, yeah.
When you had everything lined up there.
So right here is the curve, right? And here's the grass and you're right underneath. Right? So a non-ADI compliant 2-on-1 is here, and the ADI compliant is here. But when you go up to it, the goalpost things are designed for having them either side mounted, right, or front mounted. So a person who's not handicapped could just step up on the grass and use the side ones, right? So but the handicapped person could not do that, or may not be able to do that. So we flipped them around so that they'd be front mounted, so that the ADA person would have it right in front, which is great. But it turns out with their standard goalpost, you can, if you side mount the chargers, you can put the credit card reader right in there. But when you put them in the front, it doesn't leave enough space for it. So what they did was they said, all right, we'll put the credit card thing on the non-ADA compliant because they're on the side. But now the person would be over here and you'd have to go around and have a pathway over there and come back. And that was what we're doing. suboptimal, but apparently legal to do that. We would probably get the grant. And so, but it seemed we were talking about trying to put the credit card reader right on the API compliant. It makes sense. Well, we couldn't see the devil's in the details, seeing it was a new. So now we're talking about having them re-engineer the thing to give it enough room with the credit card reader on the ADA compliant one. Basically, giving it a little bit more room. So it's making a new stanchion. So Steve and I feel strongly that's the best way to do it. Now, if they come back and say we want X dollars to do that, if X dollars is 100, Steve would probably say, let's do it. If X dollars was 1,000, I'm not sure. So right now, we're waiting for their engineer. They kind of messed up that when we had this first Go to Jesus meeting in March, right? To make sure everything was going to work. So this is all supposed to be sorted out on March 7th, right?
Yeah.
Right? And so they didn't have the engineer. I actually said, Dan Shanahan, please think about whether you want to bring one of your technical experts with you. He only brought himself as a salesperson. He's a great guy. But somehow, from that day to then, they forgot the engineers or the people, the assemblers forgot to count them at 7 inches. So what we're looking at is we want a better long-term solution and belly up to, if we have the belly up to, I mentioned it was $500, Steve would probably say, I don't know, I shouldn't, but with $5,000 would be no, but it's not going to be $5,000.
Is there room in the grant money that was applied for?
Well, we could probably reapply to get that money for the extra money, but it's such a laborious process. And so I have a feeling that we're probably just going to say, hey, we did this for $384 or $834 and something else. I can't remember which one it was, but so we'll probably end up getting hit a little bit on that, but we want to make it right. Because if you make it hard and somebody complains, this is not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? If you look at it, it's kind of a risk. There's a risk of us losing $45,000. So if we spend $1,000 to avoid the risk of losing, it's that kind of calculation.
Is there not, are most of these stations, don't they have to be ADA compliant? I mean, so wouldn't the company know that?
If you want grant money, yes, but I don't know.
Oh, okay, so it's based on the grant
So
money.
our site is unusual, like if you go to most places, the charger is there, and it's all in the same level parking lot that someone can ride a wheelchair in circles around the thing. In our place, it's stepped up and it's on the grass.
Right.
And so they probably haven't experienced. I'm going to talk to them and try and say, look, we're giving you new design, showing you how to make a new design. You should pay us money for
Yeah.
I would like to see them give us a new one at no cost. I don't think that's going to happen.
Can always ask.
But we can ask.
You know, engineering costs are going to be.
So, I mean, we're very much fatigued with the process of the very long list of things that have gone wrong some other time. But
Yeah.
it seems like we're going to get there, you know?
Did they talk about taking that berm out and that 7 inches out of grass and everything and just kind of make a platform there? Because
I don't,
it's just kind of.
to dig that all up and see. What happened was, there was a decision made that they were gonna do a parking lot. We're doing the parking lot this day. And when they set up the parking lot, did not fully anticipate the nuances that I'm talking about now, right? And we knew we were gonna be there, but and the ADA compliant stuff is kind of tedious to read, you understand? And envision it all, you know. It's a perfect opportunity for more car owners. I'm Murphy's Law, which we get. But anyway, we're going to get around that one way or the other. Hopefully, they'll make the better design for a reasonable price to us. That's what I'm really hoping for. So when this stuff all comes in, there's kind of two pieces that need to be done. Apparently, I talked to the installer. The installer puts it in, he's gonna assume that when he gets this, we'll test it out or something. He does a minimum amount of testing. He turns it over to EVSE and or AMP up to do the rest. So I want to do an acid test on our part before we let anybody off the hook. I want to try it. Basically, all four chargers should be able to be paid by all three methods, for example. I want to have you bringing car number one to park in the first spot, start it up, and then number two comes in. So I want 4 chargers charging at the same time and overlapping and unplugging, and I want to go and see at the end. I want to go to those records and see every goddamn one of those records for exactly what I observed in the test before I do a holy one. Because once they're out the door, it's painful to get them back in.
Well, Patricia's got an electric car and.
Right, so, right.
And you do.
Yeah, I have a plug-in hybrid to use.
I have 2 of them.
There we go.
We probably want to get 4 cars in there and like kind of like synchronized swimming with charging.
And I can be the guinea pig because I rarely use chargers outside of my home. So
I never do practically.
I practically never do. I think I have one. So the ease of use would be good to know.
So the division of labor in our subcommittee is I'm going to be responsible for this testing because I don't know when it's going to be there. But Tricia is going to be handling the grant piece where you got to start, all the paperwork shows you have to take photos and show all the lines are there and show that there's signage and elaborate stuff other than actually plugging in and working, making sure that it's published on charge point share, right, and that maybe there's a newspaper article written about or whatever, and there's a bunch of things that are non-mechanical, non-software, and she'll have like an extended period to do that, get the money to fund it. She's going to handle that at her pace, and I'm going to the stuff that requires someone to be there on a moment's notice when things go wrong, we'll take care of it. Except for the 7 days on Yellowstone and what happens. Right? So that's basically it. It's mostly good news for a little more frustration, a little more delay. And
Where's the equipment now? Where's the, you said it was picked up.
it's in the Finnerty house.
It's actually in the Finnerty house.
I think some of it was actually on the back porch last time I looked. I just didn't I can't.
I'm going to take a walk in and take a look at it.
It's gonna be good when we finally get
All
there.
right.
But it's been grateful dead with a long strange trip. So that's all I have. I'm sticking to. That's my story. I'm sticking to
Okay,
it.
okay, so when do you anticipate the big test, you're saying October, you think it's gonna go in?
Well, I would say that it'll all be set up by mid-August.
Yeah,
And probably sometime in the from August into September, we'll be doing sort of our testing. There needs to be lines painted and signs put up and stuff like that. So I don't know how much will be done in parallel, but I can't imagine it being open to the public before September 1st. I would think October 1st might be a realistic guess.
okay.
It would actually be nice to start with the public on a month boundary for our building purposes.
Be nice to get it there before the fair.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point.
Right?
Third week in September.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'll see if I can.
Because if you, these parking lots are used, right?
Yeah. That's a good carrot to put out.
Yeah.
Or stick or whatever. Whichever. So anyway, it's been.
Well, you're good to do it. You're good to do it and put up with all that frustration and persevering. But at least they pay you the big bucks for that, right?
Yeah, right.
It's it's the enjoyment of that project, right? Putting something like that together, man.
I don't know that I will do another project in my lifetime like this.
How long has it been since you started it?
As long as, well, we began the process of figuring out how to do it in this committee 4 years, right?
There was one of the original
4 years
projects.
of this committee being done.
Yeah.
January 2021 to December 20, so it'll be 4 years.
Wow.
But we did a lot, we really we didn't get the selection done till about 2022. But we've had close to two years of bad luck delays, one because we even decided to invoke a obsolete Energy Star rating for these things, and they didn't meet the Energy Star rating because the cable things use so much, and they had it all screwed up. We got a cable, how much electricity is the cable? You use this much, but only for the seconds that it runs, and it all gets added together. So we were ready to go in January of maybe, I'm gonna say 2023, and they weren't, that they wouldn't be compliant, they wouldn't be able to.
You need the Energy Star compliance, that was the other thing.
So, well, it took till like August of that year for the EPA to say, here's what the standards are. And then by the time they had to do their own testing, make some changes. And then they had to submit the stuff for EPA to do an independent testing. And then it had to appear in an official listing of things. So then we were into like March of 2024. Yeah, March of 2024, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it all runs together now. But we're very, very close.
Good. Almost at the finish line.
Yeah.
It seems inevitable that it will be in.
The stuff's on site, so that's
Yes.
a big,
That's a big step.
good. Anything else?
Really want more active. I'm just like quoting words for the next couple months, I think.
Good, nice job.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. It's a lot of work.
Good. Next up is the Belchertown Community Choice Subcommittee. It's myself and Chris Bombakis. Again, just to review that, about a year ago, we launched the Belchertown Community Energy Choice Program, which is a townwide aggregation of buying electricity, and town residents, if they're on National Grid, got signed on to the program to buy electricity in bulk, which brought the rates down typically lower than National Grid, with the standard option was for 10% more renewable. So people were enrolled into the, automatically enrolled into the 10% more renewable at a rate. At the time when we launched was 5 cents lower than National Grid, and now it's like 3 cents lower, 2 or 3 cents lower than National Grid, because they change their rates every 6 months or seasonally. So, so we're on the 1 year anniversary of that launch, and we had a meeting with Good Energy, and we was Chris, myself, and Kate Nadu from the communications department, and Steve Williams was supposed to attend, but he got tied up with this elevator situation, so he couldn't make it. But and before that, Chris, Frank, and I, which is the subcommittee on this, met just to go over our ideas that we wanted to put forward with Good Energy on how to really promote the program, particularly for the opt-up to 100% renewable option. So Chris reviewed the numbers last month, and it was only, we have 4,300 or so participants, and only 62 opted to go to the 100% renewable. Yeah, most of them are in this room. So, so we want to bring that number up if we can. And
How many opted down?
Like 200. Yeah.
3 times more opted down.
Oh yeah.
But 90% of them more or less.
Stayed with the standard. Yeah. So there's three choices. So the standard option was a 10% more renewable. And I'm saying this for you guys' benefit, just to go over that. It was a 10% more renewable energy at 3 to 5 cents lower than national grid on the supply side. There was a basic, Belchertown basic, which was no renewable, and that was 4 cents. That was like a penny less than the standard, or maybe 6 cents lower than national grid, 3 to 6 cents lower than national grid. And then there was 100% renewable, which we call the opt-up to 100%, and that was 2 to 3 cents lower. There's only like a penny difference between each one per kilowatt. It's not a lot. But on a 600 kilowatt hour house, that can be, when you look at national grid, it's $30 savings, but on a penny-wise basis, it's only like $6 savings.
I think it cost me $72 a year when I did my calculation.
Yeah, right. So penny difference is $6 a month, basically. So anyway, I just wanted to give that background information. So we had met with Good Energy, who is the consultant that we had brought on for this, and we basically talked about there's going to be some outreach taking place based on the 1 year anniversary. There's going to be a 1 year anniversary news flash, both on social media and in the Sentinel that's being drafted. There's going to be a 1 year, it's a 1 year anniversary social media post as well, which with some specific graphics talking about the benefits of the program, the amount of participation, but basically over the course of the 1 year program, the town residents saved about almost $700,000. They figure it's about $175 per residential account. And through the purchase of the Class 1 RECs, which is the renewable part, it's about 1.9 million pounds of CO2 that was displaced using this program. So it does have its benefits. So those news flashes and news blurbs will be mentioning now those benefits. And then from there, we want to go into a launch of opt-up campaigning again. We talked about how to do that. We're talking about doing like a thermometer tote board, whether it be physical or on the website. There was also some discussion on using the logo versus the town seal, and it sounds like the town's logo is what has to go on anything that gets put on the websites or or posted or sent out. There might be an opt-up letter mailed to participants. We're going to look into doing the logistics of that. Good Energy is going to look into doing the logistics of that. The idea behind that is just send out a letter to all the people that are signed up on the program already with the benefit of it's like for $6 more a month, you could have 100% renewable and really have a big impact on carbon savings. And then we're going to update the flyers that we had come up with late last year. Again, we're going back and forth if the town seal could be used, but they're going to get updated with the town logo and then be put into place. There also might be an interview with the BCEC TV on that as well. So they're working on all those things. That they're in draft form right now. So between the communications department with Kate and ourselves and Good Energy, we'll have something coming out over the next month or so. And I think Belchertown Basic is 360 accounts. So 360 are on the no renewable, 62 on the Belchertown 100, and then the rest, almost 4,000 are on the Belchertown standard. We were talking about doing maybe a monthly status thing as well, but we might just do that quarterly and come out with maybe something on the communication side on a quarterly basis for that. So those are all the things that are in the works right now.
Have you ever, had anything going with the realtors you were talking about?
Yeah, that was, I think the hangup with that was I was really pushing for the seal to be used, but it looks like we have to use the logo. So now that's what's being reworked. We put the logo on there. We're going to just add another line with the benefits of I think we talked about carbon savings in there, but not cost savings. So we're going to put that in there, and then that'd be good to go out to all the realtors so they can use that as well.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's the program's doing well, and again, it's locked in until for 43 months a year ago, so it's till the end of 2027 at this rate. So
1.9 million pounds that didn't go into the atmosphere, so.
yeah. It does make a difference. These programs work, and there's a lot of communities in Massachusetts that have taken advantage of this, so it's good. All right. Anything else on that? From anybody, any questions? Good. Let's go into public outreach, which is, well, again, on that, used to be Joanne, Todd, and were on that committee, and they both left, so, and Jacob as well, I think. Reed had joined as a new member recently, so he kind of joined that, and now he's on the committee, and I'm going to be on that as well. So, did you get a chance to go over things with them?
Yeah. So I met with the outgoing members, Joanne and Todd. We kind of went over just the website a little bit, just kind of what they had done with the communication, some of the procedures, and I went and met with Kate.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So she went over just a few things. I guess one of the main things is, I guess, for like ADA compliance, you have to, if you put a picture on the website, you have to make sure that it can be sort of like annotated by a computer to like tell you what the image is, something like that. But other than that, it sounded pretty straightforward. So I have a login for that now. Joanne had thought that maybe we couldn't edit the part of the website that has our members on it, but Kate seemed to think we could, so I'm going to try it.
Okay.
So I want to double check. So there's 5 people now, and then I want to make sure I have the right positions for what everyone is. So you're still is it the chair?
Yep.
Okay.
Chris Bombakis is the vice chair. And Kathy is not Kathy. Patricia is the clerk. Patricia Krebs.
Okay. So I can go ahead and try and update that, and then maybe put for now I can put like 4 open positions or something like that, and then as we fill them, we can update that again and add in the new people, and that way we'll also be able to show here's the openings we have, and just one more place to advertise it, kind of. And then the next thing I want to do is go ahead and get a Facebook post out about, or next article about, if there's any companies that want their sustainability efforts showcased. I still don't have a clear answer on what email address to use. Do we, if we have like a committee email address? We had briefly talked about that, but I don't remember if we ever figured it out fully.
I could check with Todd on that, because he was the one that was monitoring it, but I'm not sure where it was coming in, into for that.
Okay.
Let me check on that.
Okay, and then once we have that figured out, I can hopefully get that Facebook post out, and then we'll kind of, I guess, see what we get. And in the meantime, maybe we can have some other article. I know there was talk about last month about maybe like an AI related article about the energy use of that, or something like that. also sounds like maybe an EV charger article will be in order soon, hopefully. So we
Yeah.
can maybe do that in September or something.
Probably after we get up and running.
Yeah. But maybe I can start working on the skeleton of an article or something, fill in the details at the end.
I had an idea, but when we do that, I think when we're up and running and settled, let's say it's November, December, something like that. I think maybe at the end of this meeting, we can get into an informal session that, let's say Linda brings her PC gear, right? And we'll actually show you all the stuff and give everybody the full tours of everything that's there.
Mm.
And that could help you write the article. And the other thing that I'm interested in is maybe after the first year, someone would kind of not take my place, but be in parallel with me. In case I get run over by a car, we have somebody, there to follow through. More knowledge is good, other than having people just me.
That's a good point.
And I don't plan on getting run over by a car.
Well, you never know, so it's good to be
I
prepared.
drive on a mess bike a lot at night. So does that sound like we'll do something like that?
Yeah.
And Linda Leduc will probably be somewhat of a speed, and that might be personally, follow a person. I would like to sometime in 2026 get out under this. I don't know, but
We'll see.
we'll see.
I mean, you're so close to getting this whole thing launched and,
I may be doubted about lots of stuff, but no about my persistence.
Yeah.
It's about-
So I think that's about it for outreach for now.
Yeah, I mean, so it's good. Communications wise, the Good Energy is working on, like I said, the news flashes and touting the benefits of the BCEC. So that'll be something that's kind of coming in through the committee. I think the whole thing around the charging, and then there's I think I mentioned this last time, was the wood treatment company down Old Springfield Road there. I think they have a huge solar field there that they power. I don't know what percent, but I was going to actually check in with the guy. I know that. Have you had any contact with them?
Was that the
New England Treaters, was it? Is it New England Treaters?
No, I think it's Culpeper on Springfield Road.
Yeah, I think it's going to down.
They might have changed. I used to know the guy that was he was one of the board members or CEOs on.
Or was Northeast Treaters on Bay Road?
I think that's Bay Road, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Bay Road. Yeah,
So-
Culpeper's on Springfield.
Yeah,
Have you been able to reach out to them or no?
I haven't yet.
Haven't yet.
Pepper. Yeah. I think I still got this guy's address.
I was gonna ask have you heard about the new town newsletter that's coming up by email every month?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to segue into that.
And that's a good place to post information too. I just started getting it, so.
You did start getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was, I don't know, I guess July 3rd, there was, and maybe it's been in the Sentinel since, but there was a sign up for the Belchertown email newsletter. There was you see, you could scan, but it's basically they're introducing a new email newsletter. It's called the Belchertown Chronicle. It's a joint project of the town manager's office and the communications committee. They're looking for things to post on there as well. So I think that's where some of these news flashes are going to show up in there. But also you received it and yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I was
good,
impressed.
good.
I-
I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to.
I haven't done it either.
Yeah. So did you see that? Did you see the?
Was that in today's?
No, this was
I
going
think
back to
that's-
July
Oh,
3rd.
July 3rd.
I think when I saw that, that's when I went and signed up for it.
Yeah.
And my daughter lives in town too, and I told her about it. So she's, I don't know, they just started a few months ago, I think. So
Yeah. It's fairly.
They're trying to get the word out to people.
Right, I think they had a couple bugs to get through too, so it's probably now in a pretty good state of,
And it's electronic, it's not,
Yes.
yeah.
you can scan it in now if you want to. If it works, yeah. So, it's good. Sounds like you're jumping in with both feet, so good to be here, so, thank you. Anything else on that?
I think that's about it. I also did sign up for the newsletter. I think maybe Joanne mentioned it in our meeting, so I am signed up on that one.
Good. Oh, I know what I want to bring up. Going forward, and again, we need, once we get some more members in, I mean, we're always talking about setting up a booth with our, where we can share information on our committee as well. And, things like Food Truck Fridays, which is, we've done that last couple of years ago, was trying to bring composting in. But again, that's pretty resource intensive, and, the next Food Truck Friday is tomorrow. Yeah, so, and it's the second one, and they only do 3, they do June, July, and August, so, I'm not willing to say, let's commit to doing booths and things like that, to have more people and more resources, and it's tough in the summer anyway. And people have to get up to speed on what this whole committee is about as well. I mean, there's so much going on, so, unless people are all gung ho, say, let's get a booth up somewhere, it would be, we've done the farmers markets for the, for Belchertown Community Choice. We were there quite a bit last year. And we did the Belchertown Fair last year, and we did, again, a couple of years ago, we did the Food Truck Fridays, but there's always
That's the Earth Day thing too, right?
yeah, well, we did the Earth Day thing, that's right, yeah. But, there's always something going on. But again, I'm not going to push for, commitment to do that until I think we're a little more staffed and.
Are we having a lack of volunteerism with respect to this committee right now?
No, I think it's just, people have put in their 3 or 4 years and.
No, I'm talking about them leaving, to getting new blood in.
Well, that's actually,
People volunteer.
that's a good segue, because that's next up on the agenda.
Yeah, I think right now, it seems like we're in a transition period.
Right.
We just joined a few months ago.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
So next up on the, unless there's anything else on communications, but next up is the new membership submissions, and I'm glad to see both Sam Hunt, right? Sam Hunt, and Rich Prager. Rich has been attending several meetings as a town resident, but glad you put your name in as well for to become a full-time member. Sam, I'm glad to see someone nice and young and getting going in this. So I applaud you for taking the effort to come forward and do that. So.
Well, you do have some volunteers.
So both Sam and Rich have put in for to become appointed to be members, and then Joanne Collins also put in for associate member, which is what Mike is. So associate member, you can't vote, but you can participate on subcommittees and.
We have to review minutes.
Yeah. So I think Joanne is he's going to wants to be appointed as associate member. So, is there any questions from you guys on? No, actually, particularly Sam, you said in our meeting you still want to become part of this group, of this motley crew. Yeah.
It's really cool. I wasn't aware just how multifaceted it was. I'm very impressed by all the stuff with EV charging. I think that's great, very detailed, and I think it'd be really cool to be involved in that sort of stuff. I think, like you said, I feel like I'd be able to bring a new perspective.
Are you still a student?
I am, yeah.
Where are you a student?
UMass.
Major.
Natural Resource Conservation.
Good. Yeah, that's right.
Good, right in, good. So you're a senior this year too, right?
Yep.
So you plan on sticking around afterward? Who knows,
We'll
right?
see. I mean, I'm considering going for a one-year master's at UMass. Not sure exactly what, maybe sustainability science, maybe GIS technology. I would like to stay in school for a little bit longer just to get into something more specific. Not, but I'm gonna just take this year to figure it out.
Yeah, good.
But as long as my parents can kick me out of the house, I'll probably stay.
Yeah. Actually, the other committee member, Chris Mambakis, he's doing grad work along the lines of sustainability. So I think it's at UMass as well. So he hasn't signed, he hasn't joined us, but he'd be a good person to meet and converse with about what you're doing. So good. And Rich, you already know you've been here a couple times, and
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I mean, I admire the mission and all the energy and what's been done, and I'm happy to be involved.
Good. So I'm not sure what the next steps are. I think, I know that this committee makes a recommendation on the applicants to be appointed. So I'm willing to do that. And I think what we'll do is we'll actually take a vote. Is there any questions anybody else has for new members
I don't think so.
coming for the potential new members?
Willing and able
Yeah, right. You qualify.
and qualified.
So what happens after this, once we'll make the recommendation to Steve Williams, the town manager's office, and the select board to appoint you two as full-time members. And then you have to meet with the town clerk and get sworn in, and then go through the rigors of the conflict of interest and the ethics and all that stuff. You have to do all that before you can become full-time members. That takes a little, it's a.
I have to go through it before in another town.
Yeah, you did, yeah. So it's like, and it's just an online course you take, a couple hours.
Years in a row. It's really fun.
Yeah. So it's a couple hours, and then hopefully you'll be able to join next meeting as new members. So I make a motion that we make the recommendation to have Sam and Rich be appointed new members to the select board.
I'll second that.
Good. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Good. So we'll go do that.
The associate members actually vote for you guys.
Yeah. Right. So good. Well, I'm glad you both are doing that.
So now it would be good to still advertise the other open positions.
Oh, yeah. So.
Or, try to draft people.
Yeah, so we got, the original committee amount was 7. I think the way it's supposed to, you can have between 5 and 9, so we're at the minimum right now. When they initially put this together, they went with 7, we could have up to 9. And then earlier, knowing that some people were going out, we approached the town and said, can we move it up to 9 members, because we figured they can post it and get more people in earlier. That's when Kathy and Reed joined. So we can have up to 9. 7 is good. 7 is good, manageable group. 9's good if we're going to do like a lot more outreach and things like that. I think that's what we have to do, and it'd be good to have, everybody like pick an article to make, or something to focus on and write about. The other thing I want to mention to you is take a look on the town website. There's the Belchertown. It's quite a presentation. It's the Belchertown Climate Resilience and Sustainable Growth Plan. But in the end, at the appendix A at the end,
they have the 7 sections in here that at one time we all were taking parts of to be familiar with. And we're trying to manage on how to do that. It was just too much to have everybody like take a project on each one.
Right.
So we're still kind of working through that. But I think from talking with the planning department, Doug Albertson, one of the recommendations was maybe we could do, each of us could do like an article on, pick like a how to do something in here and do articles on that and submit that for monthly articles as well. So something to think about. So take a look at that. Go on the Belchertown site. If you go, actually, I think you have to go into the planning board link that's on the site. And then in there, it says the Belchertown Climate Resilience and Sustainable Growth Plan. And just take a look at that and get familiar with that.
I was wondering about the town putting notices in about openings for different committees in the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Because I've seen things posted there, but I hadn't seen this.
That's how I found out about it.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
No,
I was looking for it, I didn't see it.
Oh, I thought you saw it. Oh, so you just said you from attending, you knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you had asked
I must have
about,
missed it.
yeah, because you had asked initially about how to apply, and I guess there was a form there, so you did find that.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Because it just said, go to the site, but it didn't say where to go to find that form, and it was way at the bottom, right, so. So be it.
But then that can still go in the Sentinel to get
It'll be in
maybe
there.
some more people.
It'll be in there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check on it, but I think every time they post the vacancies, I think it's always in there, under vacancies or open positions, something like that in the Sentinel. And there's a lot, there's, almost every committee has some turnaround, so. Good. Well, actually, we kind of covered the next item, which was the potential projects. We kind of melded all that together with kind of organization of this committee. So the last thing on the list was the trash gala, which was Chris actually attended that. The trash gala there was murals painted on the town transfer station, for the recycling bins, and there was a big once they were done, they had a kind of a party on one Friday evening, and people were encouraged to come in their best trashy outfits and things like that. So Chris actually attended with his daughter, and she wore the plastic bag thing, and it was kind of good. So I was kind of hoping he would give us just an overview on that. But I just wanted to mention that as well. So okay. I think that's it. Does anybody have anything else they want to add? Or?
Well, maybe if someone wants to walk with me over to the community house and show you the actual physical layout, you can spend about a minute or two there.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Get a feel for.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the voices.
You didn't take any pictures over, and that stuff was actually lined up there, huh?
Detail, the minutia of making it work.
Yeah. So, yeah. Good. Okay. The next meeting is August 21st. Again, we meet the third Thursday of the month at 7 o'clock. We have been meeting here. We're maybe looking at taking the planning board once we get more people. Sometimes it's hard to fit 7 people or more around here, so we might be moving to there at some point, but we'll wait and see how that goes. So.
I for sure won't be here.
On August 20th, yeah. I don't know about myself either, because we're usually off touring around somewhere around the end of August.
So a lot of people go away.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I've had a lot of, committees and different groups just take August off,
Right. Well, we had talked about whether to not have summer meetings, but I'm kind of glad we did. And Kenny actually was impressed. They said, let's have the meeting. So it was good, because this is a good time to have welcome new folks too. So good. All right. Press is not here, so nobody else from the public I see on. So With that, is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second?
Second.
Second, is motion to adjourn a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
Cool.